And when we get triggered, we usually do things we're ashamed of. We yell at people we care about, or we just do stupid things because we're reacting to a trigger based on some other experience. So it doesn't make sense. Like if you start freaking out at the concert, it doesn't make sense. But in your personal history, it makes sense in a crazy way because you got hooked in on big noise equals you're about to die, baby. That means your whole body is going to go into severe reaction. And so starting to move that severe reaction out so you have the wisdom of, oh yeah, big noise used to scare me. But just recognizing it, that's not what's happening here. And you unwind it on a physical, emotional level. That was true for that one experience. Big noise equals life and death situation. But here at the concert, it's big joyous noise. It's just big noise.
Yeah.
And I can open my senses to it instead of shut down to it.
Right.
And so being willing to own our triggers, because this is another thing that teachers and leaders have trouble with. It's like, yes, you will have triggers. You will. And so, yes, that means you'll behave seemingly stupidly or foolishly, but basically you're behaving according to your trigger. So instead of getting all embarrassed and trying to cover it up, it's like, go hunt that trigger so that you can heal that part of you. And that's exciting. Never make a good trigger.
Yeah. And that's so powerful because then you make the transition from being reactive to your stuff to kind of stepping out and allowing it to be without stuffing it.
Well, I call it being responsive as opposed to reactive. You do need to respond to it. It means you need to do some work there at that trigger.
Right.
And here's another mistake that a lot of people, especially people who are teachers in one way or another, whether it's ministers or rabbis or medicine people or yoga teachers, we think we have to do it all on our own, and that's not true. Reach out to the people who can be resources to you. So teachers come to me, rabbis come to me. If I have a problem I don't know how to solve, I'm going to start looking around for someone who knows how to solve it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So it's like as wise people, as people who are moving into becoming wisdom keepers, and hopefully whoever's listening actually is enchanted with the idea of becoming wiser. Because I just think that's so sexy and enchanting. It's like, I want wisdom. I want the joy of wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay. And sometimes I think people think wisdom is this sort of dark and somber thing, and it's like, oh hell no, it is not. Having wisdom is also being able to tap into ecstasy. It's like, that's very tasty.
Yeah, and one of the few perks about getting older, you're not like so concerned about raising kids and making a career, but then you understand yourself better, you know yourself better, you've seen everything come around once or twice, so instead of kind of being so absorbed in all your own stuff, you do have that ability to, for the most part, have a broader view of things, which I guess is what's called wisdom.
Well, I think that's one of the things that's possible, and I think that needs to be a choice. I mean, we've had our noses rubbed and changed so many times, we have to acknowledge it, as we age more. But I think it's up to us to whether or not we become narrow, bitter, sick, old hags, or if we become wisdom keepers. It's up to us. And so here's another thing that I'm really enchanted with is when women go through the change of life, the menopause change, and they get really upset about sweating. It's like, women, please, your body needs to sweat. It needs to do this because this is how it is discharging a lifetime of toxicity. Even if you've lived a good life, it discharges the grunge that has built up in your cell tissue. Please don't worry about it. Just sweat, drink water, and make better decisions about what you put in your body and how you tend to yourself. So that we can go through that gate of initiation of menopause and come through it wiser, healthier beings.